Mr. Pfeiffer, I hope I pronounced that right, in this event this morning. Very glad to see such a good turnout on the turning point to broadening and strengthening the English in Indonesia and the Netherlands. Of course, for us coming to Netherlands and speaking about Indonesia is relatively easy because most of you have a high degree of familiarity with Indonesia, and likewise we also have a high degree of familiarity with the Netherlands. So it makes it easier. Of course, there are always many things that are happening, especially in a country like Indonesia, which has undergone and continues to undergo thought I'd provide you a map just to remind you how big we are. And the population right now is about 220 million. The GDP size is about over $300 billion. And the per capita income is about 1,600 since last year. So this year it will be even higher. So we have more than caught up since the crisis. Prior to the crisis, our per capita income was around 1,100. And I think the most remarkable transformation in Indonesia is, of course, the system of government and the whole transformation in democracy, which has really been achieved less than 10 years. Not only did we have very peaceful elections and transfer of years, culminating in the first directly elected president in 2004. I think the other remarkable thing that's happened, which maybe some of you may know about it, but not all of you may know about it, is the fact that direct elections are now conducted at the local level. So the governors and the regions and the mayors are all now directly elected also. It's in the process. I would say it's about 80% complete, and it certainly will be completed by sometime early part of next year. They are all directly elected. So this is perhaps, and we are talking about 430 districts and 33 provinces all doing direct elections. So I think the interesting question is, once you have this kind of democracy where you have directly elected public officials at all levels, are you going to get better governance, better policies, better performance? Therefore, I think this is one of the perhaps largest experiments in democracy and decentralization, because part of the one of the major transformations we did was, of course, decentralization in the year 2000. And between 2000 to 2004, it was somewhat chaotic because you went from one extreme to the other, very centralized to very decentralized. Now we are trying to sort of bring it back towards the middle somewhere, where you have directly elected officials who hopefully will be more responsible and subject to scrutiny by those who have elected them. And we have also revised the decentralization laws and regulations so that we have guidelines from the central government as to what constitutes the policy and the policy norms and guidelines and so on. So perhaps that in a very brief is a very brief description of where we are in Indonesia and how we continue to be transforming. Next slide. This is, I think, one of the good pictures of what's happening in, if you wanted to take one picture of what's happening in Indonesia, this is the growth of the economy, where since the crisis, we've come out of the crisis, we've gone through an up and down period until 2004, and 2004 onwards, we have been growing at a very rapid rate. And in an upward direction. The slight decline that we experienced between 2005 and 2006 is a reflection of the fact that we did something very brave, which I don't think we would ever be able to do, not in the next few years anyway, was to raise the fuel price by 130% in one go. This was done in October 2005, and that led to downside downturn in the business. But I think with oil prices at $100, approaching $100 now, we're very thankful. Then I cannot imagine the size of our budget deficit if we hadn't done that.